So good afternoon. I have with me Mr. Solly Moeng. He is a political commentator, a businessman, and all over South African, true South African patriot. Thank you for joining us, Solly.
Thanks, Zach, and hello to your listeners out there, to your spectators.
And the subject we want to raise with you this afternoon is another NEC meeting of the ANC went past without any decision making. These guys just have the ability to kick for the sideline every time they have to score a try or trying not to lose something. We don't know what it is, but that's what we want to try and find out now. And there is even analysts that after this weekend's NEC is saying that someone like Ace Magashule might just as well become the next president of this country. Solly Moeng, what is your view on this?
Yeah, it's very well. I don't believe that Magashule is anywhere next to becoming president of the Republic of South Africa. We must remember that there are traditions that are, some people call them tradition or, long established practices in the ANC that the deputy becomes president. So of course, if something were to happen to the current deputy president, Mabuza, maybe the Secretary General would stand a chance of becoming president. So I should really be careful not to say it's impossible. It can happen, but something else has to happen for him. He wouldn't go from being the Secretary General to become president of the Republic. And anyway, the ANC will have to win elections. And I think that were they to make him president of the ANC first, because he would have to become president of the ANC first before he becomes president of South Africa. And that's also assuming that the ANC still has the numbers. Because if you go to an election, chances are that a lot more people would say, no, wait a minute, we don't want this man to be president. So, and everything is not as given as it appears. But going back to the ANC's lack of backbone, as it were, in terms of deciding what to do with people like him, it is very worrisome. I think that had it been an ordinary member, they would have made a decision long ago to remove them. But because it's Magashule, he's quite important. He was close to Zuma, and you can see that all these, the coalition of the wounded is now beginning to gather around Zuma, and he's one of them. He's at the leadership of the coalition. So it's people are, I don't know, they don't know how to deal with him.
How much power does Ace Magashule have in the ANC?
He has a lot of power. Look, he's the Secretary General of the ANC is almost like the CEO also. He's the one he's the boss of Luthuli House in the absence of the president of the ANC there. And a lot of the structures report to the SG, including the deployment committee. And he also plays a big role in the deployment of cadres, to various parts of the state. So he has a lot of influence in the ANC. And that's why people don't know what to do with him.
So he's got enough power in the ANC to sort of hold them in a position where they can't do anything with him or against him, but he doesn't have enough power to move into the highest position in the country, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah, look, to move into the highest position in the country, he must be president of the ANC first. Yeah. Because, as things stand, the president of the ANC becomes, that's assuming that the ANC wins enough numbers, and they would become the president of the country. But currently we have a deputy president, David Mabuza, and according to the tradition of the ANC, the deputy president becomes president. So something would have to happen to incapacitate David Mabuza before Magashule can even dream of becoming president. He would have to be elected into that position anyway of the ANC. And then once he's president only when he's ANC president, can he possibly stand a chance of becoming president of South Africa, assuming that the ANC continues to win, sufficient numbers for that to happen.
Solly, the question with a lot of people that don't understand the ANC, and let me call them mostly white people, that doesn't understand the workings of the ANC, is looking at this situation. They cannot understand why Ace Magashule is coming off so lightly in the ANC. They want to see something powerful against him.
Well, I think the question I could ask is, which ANC are you talking about? Because we're not talking about one ANC. We're talking about at least two main ANC, and the two main ANC are almost standing shoulder to shoulder, right? So the ANC that has decided to coalesce around Jacob Zuma has gained some strength or confidence, and the ANC that's gathered around Cyril Ramaphosa is not, how do I put it? They're not assertive enough. They don't say, this is right, this is wrong, this is not acceptable, then this is what we're going to do with what's not acceptable. So the other guys are very loud. They make slogans, they make a lot of noise, and they're the people who are supporting Magashule. Actually, those people are the state capture era grouping. A lot of them know that they might end up in prison. A lot of them have been implicated heavily, not just Ace Magashule. They've been implicated in the testimonies that we've seen coming out in the Zondo Commission. And the Zondo Commission must lead to a report with recommendations. In the end, we should get to a stage where the NPA has to act on some of those recommendations. And these people fear that if Ramaphosa is the president, he's probably not going to protect them. But if Magashule were to become president, or any one of them on the RET side, then they would stand a chance of being allowed to get away with whatever it is that they've been accused of. So those are the stakes. But I don't think that people should fear that Magashule could become president tomorrow. I don't think so. Something would have to happen to David Mabuza for that to happen.
Where does this leave President Cyril Ramaphosa in terms of his strength? Everybody was, when he started out, Ramaphosa, and everybody believed in him. But somehow it seems that there's a loss of confidence, and he appears lackluster at the very least sometimes.
Yeah, well, most of the time. He didn't help himself very much when he mentioned that he would rather be seen as a weak president than the one who split the ANC. The ANC is split anyway, whether he likes it or not, and it's not getting better. So I think it's been a very big disappointment. He has not stood ground. He has not been strong enough to condemn wrong. A lot of wrong has happened since he became president, and he has not really stood up and said in a firm way, this is not acceptable. You can't be in the ANC if you behave like this. So people just don't respect him anymore. The people around Magashule, Zuma, those RET people not only do they not respect Ramaphosa, but they also don't fear him because I don't know, maybe somebody has something on him, or they just know him to be too fearful that maybe he doesn't want to see the ANC split under his watch. But he's lost a lot of ground. He's lost a lot of credibility. He says things. He says one thing. I mean, we've seen over the various lockdown levels when he would say one thing, the next day he gets contradicted by either Zuma or Magashule or Duarte or other people.
Jou winkel, vars gestig in 2020, is hier om jou lewe op te kikker met al die beste produkte op jou vingerpunte. Sniffel, bestel, betaal en sien daar jou gunsteling produkte word by jou deur afgelewer. Ons is trots Suid-Afrikaans, trots Afrikaans en trots dat jy ons ondersteun. Ons behoog altyd om die beste produkte met die beste kliëntediens te lewer. Dis jou produkte, dis jou winkel.